The Yechida is the literal essence of the
Yeah. That's not one of the, right, I mean, it's not.
Okay, we have shortage in copies, so we'll have to share.
I can ask a question. So if you're just learning about how the neshama is like, there's the nefesh, ruach, neshama, yechida, and then one of those relates to the physical aspect, the emotional, the intellectual, and spiritual. So which one's the physical?
Nefesh. Nefesh relates to the most physical. Ruach is in the heart. Neshama is in the brain. Chaya is sometimes referred to as super rational, willpower that can't be explained, but it could be expressed. The Yechida is beyond expression.
Wouldn't ruach be the spiritual one because ruach means spirit?
Okay, I want to, before we learn something, I want to drive you all crazy.
Yes.
I'm going to give you an example of something that can be a brain twister. Okay. It happens to be related to, there's 2 cases or 4 cases, but I'm only going to share with you 1 or 2. It happens to be related to the laws of sanctifying the new moon. Kiddush HaChayim, which is the first mitzvah that Klal Yisrael received. So listen to this. Calendar setting is really not the only way to establish Rosh Chodesh. In the olden days, it was done through witnesses who would stand on a rooftop and testify that they saw the moon in a certain direction. If they were telling the truth and it made sense astronomically, they were really interrogated. Then the Beis Din would establish this month is Mekudesh, it's sanctified, it's Rosh Chodesh. And from there on, they would count the rest of the days of the month. Okay. If it was cloudy or the witnesses, nobody witnessed the moon, then Rosh Chodesh would be delayed another day. It can't be delayed more than 1 day. It's either that night or the next night. Now what happens like this? What happens if you have 2 witnesses who claim they saw the moon? They were standing Montgomery Street, Kingston, Montgomery, and they were on top of a rooftop. They saw the moon and they mentioned the exact direction. It makes sense astronomically that yes, because the basin had no astronomy. And they figured, yeah, it makes sense that they saw it. It's a clear night that night in New York. And that's exactly where it would be seen if they did see it. Very, very small, the moon. You have to know exactly where to look. And they were about to, pronounce it as Rosh Chodesh. Along come 2 other witnesses. And 2 other witnesses say, wait a second. You guys were in Montgomery and Kingston on a Sunday night, 10 o'clock at night? You were eating in a restaurant in California with us at that time. You're liars. It might be true that the moon was there, but you didn't see it because you were with us. It's called Adim Zomim, called conspirators. The first group are disqualified and they're even punished. If it comes, they're punished as well. They get lashed. And we believe the second group. But that's only if the second group are bar mitzvah. They have to be mature. If they're below bar mitzvah, forget about it. Then you can't disqualify if you're not an adult. When do you become an adult? 13. What happens if, let's say, we're talking about Rosh Chodesh Nisan? Rosh Chodesh Nisan is the topic of discussion. The first witnesses said that they saw the moon this night, and thus it should be proclaimed as Rosh Chodesh Nisan. The second pair of witnesses are bar mitzvah on Rosh Chodesh Nisan. Remember, if it is Rosh Chodesh Nisan, then they're qualified to testify. If it's not Rosh Chodesh Nisan, they're still children. They're minors. You're following still? Sure. Yeah. Okay. You're still a little twisted. Okay. This is what Bachram go through, what the boys go through. Torture. This is nothing yet. Okay. Now, along comes the question. What happens if the second group of witnesses testify that the first are liars? Sunday night, 10 o'clock in New York? Can't be. We believe the second pair of witnesses, which means we disqualify the first, which means it's not Rosh Chodesh. If it's not Rosh Chodesh, then the second ones are disqualified because they're not bar mitzvah yet. If they're not bar mitzvah yet, what happens? The first ones are requalified again. That means it is Rosh Chodesh. Well, if it is Rosh Chodesh, then the second ones are bar mitzvah. Their bar mitzvah, then they have the right to invalidate the first. Then it's not, if that's the case, then it's not Rosh Chodesh. It's not Rosh Chodesh. You see how it goes around, a merry-go-round. What do you do? So the Minchas Chinuch ask, what do you do in a case like this? Whatever you do, the moment you qualify them, they become disqualified. The moment you disqualify them, they become qualified. So you can never end. It's an endless cycle, a vicious cycle. So he says something very, very powerful. He says, because there's a great mitzvah in being makabel and accepting witnesses, we accept them knowing that the moment we accept them, they're not really kosher. Once we accept them, there's a rule, even though we know that there's a problem with their testimony, too late. At the moment we accept that it wasn't a problem yet, it only becomes a problem afterwards. Okay, afterwards. The halacha is even if they made a mistake, if the Beis Din made a mistake in their ruling, and even if they deliberately made a mistake, that's how powerful the Beis Din is. It becomes Rosh Chodesh. So here says the Minchas Chinuch, someone who lived about 150 years ago, he says, well, now we're going to take advantage of that rule. We're going to say, accept the first pair of witnesses, and then you know what? Too late, we did it already. And even though we know the moment we accept them, it becomes Rosh Chodesh, and if it becomes Rosh Chodesh, then the first pair have the right to disqualify. That's too late. We don't look at that. Okay. One other example in the laws of marriage and divorce. Man gives his wife a divorce. And he says, you're divorced, but with one condition. What's the condition? The divorce will only be in effect if you don't marry so-and-so. If that so-and-so does not legally marry you. Okay, now there's a rule. Let me give you an important rule. The rule is that if a woman is married, she's married, happily married or not happily married, but she's married. And someone else comes along, a friend of hers, and gives her a ring and says, Hariyat Mekudeshesli. And they're in love with each other. Shouldn't be, but that's what. And the guy gives her a ring, and she says, oh, thank you. I so want to be married to you, not to my husband, but to you. Does she need a divorce from that second guy? He actually gave her a kiddushin. No, because a married woman can't be married to someone else. So the kiddushin is not in effect. You can't marry a married woman. You can do what you can try your best, but it's not going to work. If she would be not married, had she been divorced, then it would work. Separation is not enough. Okay. Here comes the guy who says, I'm divorcing you on the condition that so-and-so, whoever that guy is, does not give you a ring and say Hariyat Mekudeshesli and marry you. Okay. Yeah, forget about the rudeness. It's halacha right now. You got to use our minds. Don't go there, but don't let the emotions take you over.
But I think
Wait, let me finish the case first. Hold on. So comes the Mishnah Lamelech, and he said, wait a second. What's going to happen over here? It's a problem. What happens if he did receive a ring from the second guy? She violated the rule, the condition, didn't she? His condition was that you should not get married to another man. And she did. What would that mean? Whenever you have a condition attached to your divorce and you don't follow that condition, the divorce becomes nullified.
Wait, halachically, you can have a condition to your divorce.
Depends. Not so simple. Depends how you word it. You're right. If you say, I free you to marry everyone except, that doesn't work. But if you say you're married, you can marry everyone. But I'm asking you a favor, not something else. There's another issue. I don't want to get into that right now. So I don't know who's listening to me right now. I don't want to bore you, but I'm going to just finish with this. So again, a man says to his wife, I'm divorcing you. Well, there's a condition. Divorce means you can marry anyone, but I am giving you one condition that you should not marry this so-and-so, get married to so-and-so, because if you do, the divorce is null and void. So what happens if she didn't follow his rules and she accepted marriage from the second guy? And that guy that the husband said not to? What happens is she violated his condition, which means the get is no longer a get, which means she's still married. But wait a second, if she's still married, then no one else can marry her. If that guy gave her a ring, it's worthless. He said on the condition that no one marries, that this person doesn't marry you. He didn't marry her because she's still married. If she's still married, then she didn't violate the condition. She didn't violate the condition, and the divorce takes place. If the divorce takes place, it goes back and forth again. There's two more cases in the Torah, two more cases where you have this back and forth situation. But I just wanted to give you an example of where we can,
So what do you do in that case?
good question. I'm not gonna give you the answer to that. That's a complicated one. But this is just a little taste of what the Bukhram go through. This is just a tiny little taste. It gets much more complicated. Okay, you want to join the Bukhram?
Maybe
I don't think so. Okay,
maybe one of the Bukhram ones. I'm kidding.
Yeah. Okay. Let's go to a Gemara on Masechta Megillah. It's getting close to Purim. So before we get to the actual Gemara, I want to mention one more halacha. How do we know which other to read the Megillah? In fact, there's one opinion that says you read the Megillah this coming Tuesday. And this week would be Parsha Zachar, the Parsha of getting rid of Amalek, the Parsha before. We don't follow that opinion. What's the reason? What's the reasoning of that view? Why would you do it the first month of Adar? Very simple. It says, L'chol shana b'shana, in Megillah, every single year you are to observe reading of the Megillah, practice of reading of the Megillah, indicating that every year the Adar has to be the same. Just like in every normal year without a leap year, you have only one Adar, and that Adar follows Shvat. So therefore, when you have two Adars, pick the Adar that follows Shvat. The other opinion says, wait a second, how about saying the other way around? Just like every year Adar comes before Nisan, pick the Adar that comes before Nisan. So the Gemara says, wait a second, no, the first guy is right. Because when you have a choice to delay a mitzvah or do the mitzvah right away, what do? Do it right away. So the Gemara answers, so how does the other opinion explain why they feel it should be the second Adar? Anyone know the answer to that? The Rebbe always quotes this Gemara, Mismach Geula LeGeula. We'd rather wait and have it 2 months in a row of Geula, the Geula of Purim and the Geula of Pesach. We don't want to have a break in between. We want to put it right into Pesach. So therefore, that prevails, that's the halacha. Gemara even discusses, one second, what happens if a mistake was made and the whole tzibur read the Megillah on the first month? Not Yoitze, got to do it over again next month. What happens if, see, the olden days was possible that the year can become a leap year after Purim. After Purim, not after Purim, I mean, after Purim. After Purim, there's only one Adar that year, scheduled one Adar. Then after Purim, they decided they have to make a second Adar. Even then, when they did it, they were doing the right thing, but it becomes retroactively disqualified. You have to read it over again. Okay, what do you want to ask?
How is Adar chosen as the leap month versus any other month?
Question?
Do you know it?
I know it. I know everything. I know nothing. What's the answer to that question? Who knows the answer? Why is Adar chosen?
If you have to expand any of the months, Adar is joy, no?
Oh, that's the answer I would give. But there's probably another answer. The Rebbe always says that 60 days, 60 is the ratio of nullifying anything that's not kosher, 60 over 1. So when anything is not going well in the world, the power of 2 Adars nullifies anything distasteful, not kosher, and transforms that into something kosher. We have 60 days, so Adar. And the idea is that it's a leap year, also tells you catching up. Don't think you've fallen behind just because you're new to Yiddishkeit or something, and you fell behind, you wasted so many years of your life. We catch up, and the lunar cycle even goes beyond the solar cycle, because we have now more days in the year than we have during the regular solar year. So you catch up and you go ahead. And I want to tell you about teaching here versus teaching in FFB schools, although a lot of you are also FFB. I mean, I see there's much more interest in learning than there is amongst the what they call the people that have been around for a long time. The Gezhe, you call the real Chabad. I see it here a lot more. Although people also here phase out a little bit here and there, but okay. Let's see the Gemara inside. You tell me you heard the Gemara with Rabbah and Rav Zera having a Sudas Purim, and Rabbah kills Rav Zera. Let's see the Gemara.
Then the next one is that he brings him back to life.
He brings him back to life, but he waits till the next day. Then he asked him the following year, "You want to try it again?" How could Rabbah, a great tzaddik like Rabbah, who's mentioned in Tanya, and he says I'm a Benoni and never stop learning? How can he? I mean, tzaddikim don't make mistakes like that. Even by mistake, How can a mitzvah of Purim lead to such a terrible, yes?
Because he didn't know the difference between Haman and Mordechai.
No, still. You think that means literally that Purim wants us to forget Haman? Oh, Haman's great. You think Purim wants us to forget about who Haman is and Mordechai is? That's not what it means. It means that we don't. I'll tell you what it means before we get to the Gemara inside. What does it mean that we should get so sick or intoxicated, inebriated, that we should not know the difference between Haman and Mordechai? So a lot of explanations. One explanation is we don't mean Haman and Mordechai, not knowing who's who. We mean that even if you have in life things that seem to be, you want to curse them. It feels like Haman is part of your life. Then you have Baruch Mordechai, where things are going so well, you're blessed. When you reach the level of Purim, you go into a world where everything is accepted equally. In other words, you don't just differentiate between things that seem to be terrible happening to you, things that are going very great for you. It's one shot. Chassidus is a whole different shot. Not that we should not know a difference, but the difference that you know should not be limited to knowledge. The lo yada, that I'm a level of lo yada, I'm a level that transcends intellect. That's where you differentiate Haman and Mordechai. Not because Baruch Mordechai, he's a nice guy, he's a tzaddik, and Haman is a bad guy. It's deeper than that. That's logic. But your level of connection to Mordechai and disconnection to Haman should be transcending logic. Should be on a level of lo yada. Third shot. Ad lo yada bain, should not know any difference, no in-betweens. Once you deviate from Baruch Mordechai, you're in Haman's territory. Don't believe in the neutral level. You know, I'm neutral. I'm neutral. I don't believe in Haman. I'm on Mordechai's side, not on Haman's side. If you go one iota away from Baruch Mordechai, you end up in Haman's territory. So be very careful not to deviate. Vistartem va'avadetem. You turn, you worship idols. You turn away from God one little iota, it could lead you to the worst. Another pshat. And my brother wrote a sefer 70 pirushim on how to explain Haman and Baruch Mordechai. But it doesn't mean literally, you know. Haman, I think it doesn't mean that. It makes no sense for Purim to leave us, you know, in a total confusion of what's going on.
In that case, like, how could it happen?
Okay, so let's see. We have a Rebbe Sikh here, the Sikh of the Rebbe. Explains the Gemara. Okay, we don't have enough copies because the machine isn't working. Let's see it inside here. So the first one, you have the first one? I might have given out two. I see this one. Is that it says Zion with Let me see what you have. Yeah, it's this one here. So it's right over here. It's right over here. Amarava. Okay. Amarava. What?
There's two papers?
There's two papers, but it's the first one I want.
I don't have.
Okay. You have the one that you have this one?
I have this one.
Okay, let me see what you have. Yeah, try here. Put my head. Okay, so we'll start with the words Amarava. Mechayiv inshi lipsumi bepuria. A person is obligated, mechayiv lipsumi, to be intoxicated on Purim. Bepuria means on Purim. Ad lo yada, until one loses track of knowledge between Haman and Baruch Mordechai. That's the famous Gemara, and we just explained it, many ways to explain it. The Misnagdish way of explaining it is go to sleep. And when you're asleep, you don't have no knowledge of what's going on in the world. In other words, drink and drink until you no longer are conscious of the difference because you fell asleep. In fact, the word puria means a bed. In Aramaic, puria is a bed. Go to sleep. But that's not how Chassidus explains it. Or most of them, unfortunately, either. Now, story. Rabba Rabbi Zera. Avdu Sudas Purim Bahadi Adodi. Rabba and Rabbi Zera made together, dined together, and had their Sudas Purim. Bahadi Hadodi. Together. Okay? Very bottom of page 7b1. Ibsum, they both became very inebriated. They became intoxicated. While they were in this state of intoxication, both of them, come Rabbah gets up, Rabbah stands up. Doesn't mean literally, we'll soon see what it means he stood up. Whatever will explain it differently. But it seems like he got up, took a knife, and slaughtered Rabbi Zera and killed him. Come Rabbah gets up, is the Rabbah in Tanya. Shachte Rabbi Zera, and he slaughters Rabbi Zera. Cute, huh? No problem. The next day, Rabbah pleaded for mercy. Oh, what did I just do? Was I really that drunk? And boy, Rachame, he pleaded for Rachmanis, and he revived him. He brought him back to life again. You know, what's the big chiddush? Talking about tzaddikim over here. Okay, you'd think he'd have never again will I ever have a sort of Purim where it's dangerous, because we know what happens when we get drunk. The next year, and first of all, he waited until the next day to revive him. So you could say maybe because he was so intoxicated, he wasn't even aware of what's going on. But he let him die. He was still dead until the next day, which is strange. Then, and you see how the Rebbe learns Pshat, it's so beautiful, versus all the other Mefarshim. The following year, Rabbah asked Rabbi Zera, Nasi Marvin Navid for the Purim Bahadi Adadi. Come, how would you like to have another Purim feast together? Instead of saying never again, he asked for trouble. Our Malay, Rabbi Zera didn't say, are you kidding? Hello, are you kidding? OMG. He didn't say that. What did he say? He said, I would love to do it, but you know what? I'm afraid if I die, you kill me, I won't come back to life again. You know, sometimes I might love it up there. I might be so happy in Gan Eden that you might not be able to bring me down again. But otherwise, it's a good idea. I understand why you're asking. I mean, whatever was saying is, Gemara was asking questions. Everyone was laughing. The whole crowd was laughing. Whatever was like throwing questions and questions and questions on this Gemara. Doesn't sound reasonable. Not every time does a miracle occur. Who knows if you'll be able to bring me back again? Okay. So you'll put in the footnotes over here. These are qualified, these are very authoritative people. We're talking about the Rambam's son, quotes this passage as a classic example of the Gemara's occasional use of hyperbole in cases where it is absolutely clear that the literal meaning is not intended. He explains that actually Rabbah dealt Rabbi Zera a blow that wounded him grievously due to the seriousness of the wound and possibly because it was located near Rabbi Zera's neck. Gemara calls that shchita, not that he actually literally slaughtered him. He injured him. But that doesn't answer the question really. First of all, you're taking it not literally anymore. Okay, so you're changing the word shachte to mean not that he slaughtered him, but he hit him in the neck, the place where you slaughter an animal, you know. And then it didn't mean he revived him from the dead. It means he cured him. Yeah, but that's, you know, first of all, that's also a problem. To injure somebody, a tzaddik should injure somebody through a mitzvah? So it doesn't answer the question. Even if he didn't kill him, he still injured him. Then the Maharsha, another very, very authentic source, also maintains that the Gemara is not to be understood literally. Rather, Rabbah forced Rabbi Zera to drink an excessive amount of wine, from which Rabbi Zera became deathly ill. Rabbah then prayed that Rabbi Zera should not die from his illness, and Rabbi Zera recovered. It still doesn't answer the question, why did he feel comfortable asking again next year? You know, he almost killed me last year. And okay, you know, let's do it again. So here's what the Rebbe says. The Rebbe says, it doesn't say he killed him, it says he slaughtered him. You know what the word slaughter actually means? The word shechita comes from the word meshicha. In fact, one of the ways of slaughtering, you can't fetch the knife inward. It has to be smooth. So smooth the animal doesn't feel any pain, hardly any pain. Mashach is called. The Gemara doesn't use the word bekatle, which would be the standard word in Aramaic, bekatle, or bahorg, when he killed him, harog, kitel. It uses shachte. Strange. Why would it use lashon shechita by a man, by a person? Shech an animal. Yeah.
My aunt was telling me that one time when my grandfather was shechting a chicken, I believe she said that he stopped shechting after one time the chicken ran away.
Okay.
Because the knife has to be that sharp.
That's right. So what happens when the animal is slaughtered properly? It gets elevated from being just a chicken to being something kosher for a person to eat, becoming part of a human being's life. It's called, and the Eibishter knows exactly which animal. Someone asked me a question, how do you know when the animal is time to go? I said, I don't know, but the Eibishter knows. And he says, he's the one who created this time ago. He knows exactly its whole life. and its history, and when the time has come for it to be elevated. So the word shachted means he elevated him. So the Rebbe learns, no, Reb Zera did die, but not through a knife. He didn't hit him with a knife or slaughter him with a knife. What happens when tzaddikim get intoxicated? What do they talk about? Secrets of the Torah. The yayin, wine also means the wine of Torah, the deepest secrets. Now, Rabbah means big. Zera means small. Rabbah had a tremendous amount of capacity to take the biggest secrets in, understand them, and not leave his body. He did not have kalos hanefesh, expiration of the soul. Rabbi Zera heard those secrets, like, wow! And Zera means small kalim. He couldn't take it. It was so incredibly deep that Zera, in ecstasy, departed, his soul departed from his body. So Rabbah caused Rabbi Zera to have what Nadav and Avihu had, their experience, the sons of Aaron. They went up to Shemayim. But it didn't go up to Shemayim in pain, it went up in kissing love to Hashem. The soul just couldn't take it in the body. It was too much gilui, and his body couldn't contain. Rabbah, on the other hand, like his name, and not just Rabbah, come Rabbah, says the Rebbe. What does come Rabbah mean? Not just physically getting up. What would you get up? Rabbah went even beyond his own level. Rabbah rose to his highest level and gave that to Rabbi Zera, not realizing Rabbi Zera is not a keli for it. And then Rabbi Zera passed on. On Purim, you have to be Adar I, so he wasn't bothered by the fact that he was left this world. But the next day, when Adar I is over, Rabbah pleaded for mercy, and Rabbi Zera's neshama came back down again. Now, Rabbi Zera had the best experience in his life. No one can explain what this means, what expiration of a soul means when you're feeling Hashem's presence. We don't know how, can't even imagine what kind of pleasure that is. It's beyond us. So Rabbah understood Rabbi Zera would probably want to have this again. And I'll bring you back, just on Purim. But Rabbi Zera said, and also Rabbah might have felt that Rabbi Zera matured after that experience. Maybe his kingdom have broadened a little bit. So Rabbi Zera says, no, I don't think they have broadened enough. And I would love to have that experience, that one day experience, but I want to come down again. And who knows, maybe this year my neshama will have such an incredible kind of lemaila, your tefillas won't help. So now it's literally, he killed him, but he didn't kill him with a knife. He killed him with secrets of Torah, with the yayin of Torah. Yes, they drank wine too, but the wine, the physical wine by tzaddikim brings out the spiritual wine, the deepest part of their neshama. The yayin is the gematria sod, the secret of the soul. The highest part of the neshama was exposed, and it didn't. Rabbi Zera couldn't contain that. That's how Rebbe learns pshat. All different pshat. Everything is literal. Yes, he did kill him. It wasn't that he injured him. It wasn't that. In fact, one opinion says shachte. Read it with a sin. Sachate. He squeezed him. But that's taking the simplest pshat is take the word shchita literally. Shchita. He slaughtered him, but not slaughter with a knife. Slaughter means to elevate. You elevate an animal. He elevated Rabbi Zera to his level. Look at the Gemara Vayter, next few lines. Amar Rava, Sudas Purim, she'achla balayla, one who eats the Purim feast at night, the night before Purim, not the night after Purim. The night after Purim, forget about it. You can't fulfill the mitzvah of Purim after Purim. In fact, when Purim falls out on Shabbos, it doesn't fall out on Shabbos here, but in Yerushalayim, where they celebrate the 15th day of Adar, what happens if the 15th day of Adar happens to be on Shabbos? When do the people in Yerushalayim celebrate Purim? 3 days. You know that? It's a 3-day Purim called Purim Meshulash. Anyone know how they celebrate it? They read the Megillah before Shabbos on Friday, together with Chutz La'aretz, together with us. Why not Sunday? Don't we have a rule whenever you can't do something like you can't fast on Shabbos, like Tisha B'Av or fast days, you push it away till Sunday? But Purim you can't push off. Because it says in the Megillah, below Ya'avor, let not this day pass without celebrating it. So if you can't do it on the right day, do it the day before. So they celebrate the reading of the Megillah in Yerushalayim on the 14th day together with everyone else in the world. Even though normally it's on the 15th, but the 15th day of Adar falls out on Shabbos, meaning our Purim is on Friday and their Purim is Shabbos. Can't read the Megillah on Shabbos. Why not, by the way? Who knows why you can't read the Megillah on Shabbos? Huh? That's a good wrong answer. What? No. Who knows? There's 2 reasons. Huh?
when would you even do it?
Shabbos morning, Friday night, Shabbos morning, points, like, what I mean? So, one reason is we're afraid that you might carry the Megillah, and bring it to someone who knows how to read the Megillah for you and forget that it's Shabbos and walk out with it. Another reason is crowds. When do the crowds congregate? Here's the Megillah. Everyone comes to hear the Megillah. And Matanas Lavyonim, when do the poor take the love to come? Poor love to come when there's big crowds. But you can't get Matanas Lavyonim on Shabbos. Since you can't get out money to the poor, or even food to the poor, and you can't carry back home, can't carry with you. So therefore, if Matanas Lavyonim in order for the poor to have a greater crowd, we make it 4 Shabbos. So Friday would be Kriyas HaMegillah in Eretz Yisrael, in Yerushalayim, called the Shushan Purim, which is Shabbos. They would celebrate normally on that day, but they celebrate the day before. Which mitzvahs? They do Friday, just reading the Megillah. Then they don't say Al Anisim. They read the Megillah, they don't say Al Anisim in Shemon Esrei. And they would also have Matanas Lavyonim. On Shabbos, they say Al Anisim, and they read the Maftir of Amalek that we would read. The little Maftir about Amalek being defeated. And on Sunday, they would have Sudas Purim and Mashiach Manas. There's no rush. On Friday, you have.
Yeah, that's so cool.
Yeah, but we when it comes out on Friday, we have to do everything all in one day.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And some people complain.
Yeah.
People complain, it's not fair. This Shabbos is ruining our Yom Tov. Shabbos is ruining Purim. Hey, how dare you, Shabbos, get involved, interfere with our Sudas Purim? We have to make it short. We love Sudas Purim. We want to have it longer, but you can't even prepare for Shabbos. So I thought one to myself, you know what that's like? That's like, what is Purim all about? Purim is Geula within Golos. Because we still remain in Golos, even after we still Achashverosh is under him. So it wasn't like, all the other miracles like Pesach. It was different. It was or Hanukkah. Hanukkah, after the miracle of Hanukkah, we had the Beis HaMikdash. After Purim, we still didn't have the Beis HaMikdash. We still had Achashverosh running the show. So it's like a Geula, but still in Golos. What is Shabbos? Shabbos is the real Geula. Shabbos reminds us of Mashiach. So what would happen if you're making a whole big Suda? Let's prepare for Mashiach. We have speakers. Everyone's coming. You'll speak. We have a meal, and we have mamash. We catered it. Cost thousands of dollars. In the middle of the meal, guess what happens? Mashiach comes. Oh, Mashiach, why did you stop us in the middle? What's the whole thing about? Bring Mashiach. We get kind of sidetracked. And you don't realize the whole purpose of the Suda is for Mashiach. That's the case. Same thing is true with Shabbos. You're angry at Shabbos because they interfere with your Suda's Purim. Same thing. This is my thought. You can take it or leave it. Yes.
There are some people that actually continue to see this program within Shabbos and you continue it into the shows of Shabbos.
Yeah, we don't do that because there are reasons why not. I understand what you're saying, but it could be a problem. Today we don't like to do these things because there's a lot of strife when you do that.
There is, that's why.
Yeah, that's why we don't do it. But then we blame Shabbos. You got to prepare. You got to rush, and we can't get time till we want to get high. And by the way, getting high on Purim doesn't mean what you see in the street here, frivolity. That's not simcha. That's losing yourself. That's stupidity. Frivolousness is not at all what the Chachamim meant. Become like a Meshuvah, wild, build the chayes, and Leitzon is laughing at people. That's not what it's all about. It's all about transcending yourself. Frivolousness means losing yourself. And simcha means breaking all boundaries. Like if you are a person who has limits and you can't say hello to that person, suddenly you become an extrovert. Shalom Aleichem, how are you? And give a person a hug. That's what simcha is all about. To break your teva, break your nature. You understand what I'm saying? Not to go, that's so easy to do that. The fall is very easy. To rise is not easy. People make a mistake. So this is the simcha of Purim. It's not a simple thing. What I want to say, Rebbe once asked, what's the hero of masks on Purim? Just like when a person wearing a mask, you don't get angry at the person. You understand that the real person is behind the mask. So it's looking at a Jew and you see the Jew is, that Jew is really a horrible Jew. Don't look at that Jew, it's a mask. The Pneumius, every Jew is special. So look at every Jew and imagine that he or she is wearing a mask. The Chitzonius is just a mask of their Pneumius. Got it? Okay, that's the Rebbe's Hero. Now, let's finish this. Rav Ashi have a Yosef Kamei. I'm sorry, I'm a mistake. So Sudas Purim cannot be eaten the night before. The night after, forget about it. Can't eat Sudas Purim. It's too late. It's after Purim already. But the night of Purim, the night you read the Megillah, don't think you can fulfill your mitzvah of having a Sudas Purim. It won't work. You're not Yotzei. And if you did have a nice Suda, and you're very full, you got to have another one tomorrow. It must be during the day. How do we know? My timer, what's the source for this? What's the reason? Yemei mishta v'simcha ksiv. It's written in the Megillah, days of feasting and gladness and not nights. Here's the story. Rav Ashi Hava Yosef Kamei to Rav Kahana. Rav Ashi was sitting before Rav Kahana. Rav Ashi was the one who compiled the Gemara. He's the last generation of Amoraim. Naga, v'lo asa rabbanon. It grew late, and the rabbis did not arrive at the house of study. It was on Purim. Amalei, Rav Ashi asked Rav Kahana, what's going on over here? My time, asu rabbanon. My time, what's the reason? Lo asu. Do the rabbis not come? Why do the rabbis not arrive yet? And Rav Kahana replied, maybe they're busy with the Sudas Purim. Purim is a busy day. Dilma tridi b'Sudas Purim. Perhaps they're busy with the Purim feast. Amalei, so Rav Ashi remarked, so what? Eat the meal at night. Is it not possible for them to have eaten the Purim feast at night and have plenty of time to come to study during the day? Amalei, Rav Kahana answered him, did you not know what Rava said? Lo shmiya leila mar hada amar Rava. Mar means master, teacher. Did Master Rav Ashi not hear what Rava once said? Rava lived a few generations before. Did Master not hear what Rava said? That Sudas Purim sha'achla b'alayla, that one who eats Purim at night, the night of Purim, but not during the day, lo yosi dechivose, has not fulfilled his obligation. Amalei, Rav Ashi asked him, true? Amalei, he said this? And he answered yes. Tana minei arbo zimnin. Rav Ashi learned this rule of Rav Kahana 40 times till it became part of him. He chazed it over and over and over again, 40 different times, and bedamile until it was secure in his mind, like something is in your pocket. Command de manach b'kisei, like something was in your pocket, you have it in your pocket, it was in the pocket of his brain, accepted, not just understood, but accepted as, yes, this is the rule, it makes sense. That you can't be yotzei the Sudas Purim at night. Now I'm going to ask you another question. What is not part of our davening on Purim that should have been apparently, but it's not? Every other holiday we have it, and Purim, Hanukkah we have it, Pesach, Shavuos, and Sukkot we have it, Rosh Hashanah and Kippur we don't have it, but there's a good reason for it. But all the three holidays and also Hanukkah, and we don't have it on Purim. We don't say it on Purim. Hallel is correct. You would say Hallel also?
Yeah, she was saying hello.
Okay. So you guys know.
I was thinking it.
You were thinking and she said it.
Saying it, but then I repeated it.
Okay, so the question is, why don't we say Hallel on Purim? And the Gemara gives three answers, and the Rebbe explains the whole secret of the Rebbe on the Gemara, which is the second copy I ever made for you. Well, so we can start. Do you have that? Do you have the copy also? No. Okay. That's downstairs. I'm going to give you, maybe next week we'll learn it inside, but I'll give you the three reasons the Gemara gives. Anyone know any reason? Any ideas? Make up your own reason. Why would you not say Hallel on Purim? It's not a happy day. Purim is even happier than Hanukkah. Ad lo yada, we go out of our limits.
Because it was a hidden there?
Huh?
Maybe because it was a
Very
hidden
good.
there?
The Gemara doesn't say these words, but the Rebbe says the underlying reason of all the Gemara's reasons is what you just said. It wasn't an open miracle. But what does the Gemara openly say? Not that answer. Gemara's answer are threefold. One answer is, anyone know? One answer is that we can only say Hallel on miracles that happen in Eretz Yisrael. The Gemara says, really? And I thought Egypt was not. Last time we checked, Mitzrayim was not in Eretz Yisrael, right? So how can we say Hallel on Pesach? So the Gemara says that before Matan Torah, before we got to Eretz Yisrael, then there was nothing special about Eretz Yisrael yet, enough to disqualify lands that were outside. But once we had entered Eretz Yisrael, once we had the land conquered, now if you're outside of Eretz Yisrael, you're disqualified. Just say Hallel. Okay. Another answer says in the Hallel, Hallelu Avdi Hashem. Say Hallel those that are servants of Hashem, but not servants of Achashverosh. By Purim, we were still under the auspices, under the jurisdiction of Achashverosh. We were not really able to say that we are Avdi Hashem, and therefore you can't say Hallel. And the third answer is Megillah is in place of Hallel. People think, this is Meiri who says, oh, well, if that's the case, a person does not have access to a Megillah, you're stuck somewhere, should you read Hallel? And the answer is no, and the Rebbe really explains why no. Others say no, because since it wasn't instituted, you can't make exceptions even when you don't have them. The Rebbe has a whole different reason. So we have three answers. Let's do it again. One answer is, you can't say Hallel once we entered Eretz Yisrael. We cannot say Hallel on a miracle that happens in Chutz La'aretz, which is the case of Purim, unlike Hanukkah. Number two, it's not, we're not Avdei Hashem, we're Akati. But I've always quotes this Gemara, Akati, which means in Aramaic, we're still Avdei Achashverosh Anan, Anachnu. We are servants of Achashverosh, and we cannot say Hallel. We cannot say what we say in the Hallel. Hallelu Avdei Hashem, exclusively servants of God. And the third answer is, what's the third answer? Megillah, Zu Hallelujah. The Megillah itself is in place of Hallel. So the Gemara, the Rebbe has a whole arifus in this, and Rebbe says really all these three answers are not really disagreeing with each other. They're all part of one general answer, that any miracle that's not open, but rather a nest, hamalubut b'teva, that is dressed in nature, we could say Hallel every day also. Every day is one big miracle. The sun goes up, sun goes down. Every second of our life is one big miracle. We're so used to it. But you're not going to say Hallel every day, because then you're making the open miracles cheaper by saying Hallel every day. You don't want to do that. What happens if it's a miracle, but it went through nature? That's the question. Miracles that go through nature, we cannot say Hallel either. And for that, there are three reasons why a miracle that's enclosed in nature, you can't say Hallel. But we ran out of time, even though we have a couple minutes. Anyone have any questions? Any answers? What I wanted to say, I'm going to explore this. I like to go through all the stories, the Midrashim from the Gemara, all related to Esther Hamalka. There's a book, Esther Hamalka, where someone is acting as if it's a novel, but it's based on the Midrashim. She's saying how Esther felt, what she felt. Mom, and really, you don't see this in the Megillah. Beautiful, Midrashim. That's the name of the book. I used to have it and I lost it. You have it? What's it called? What's the name of the book?
I'm not sure. Let my people live or let my.
Could be. I don't remember. If you tell me the name, I'll remember it.
Gold book.
I think I remember colors.
Oh, I do have a question.
Yes.
So is
Kevin.
it still so what's with drinking alcohol for?
Not for girls.
Yeah,
Not for girls.
what is the?
No, because again, you have to be in the Purim spirit. Not in the Purim spirit, don't drink anything. If you're in the Purim, you want to feel the kedusha of Purim, then drinking sometimes helps. But in moderation, not drinking. You don't mean you should lose yourself. You mean that you should lose your limits of what logic often does to us. Logic always puts questions, and Purim, in a way, the idea that Purim is a nest that's dressed in teva really goes out of boundaries. It's not even a yontif as far as malach is concerned. You do any drive on Purim, so the fact that we could feel a joy without having to abstain from work, without having it to be an open miracle, and that even miracles that go through nature can also be joyous, shows that you've gone beyond your limits, beyond the limits of your nature. And therefore, if you have to have open miracles and you have to abstain from work and then you're happy, happiness is based on something. But if the happiness is, seems to have no specific foundation to it, it's just unlimited, unbridled happiness with happiness, unbridled, unlimited joy of breaking out of yourself. It's such a gewaldige, tremendous opportunity that we waste with this frivolousness. And I see it in the streets here, it bothers me so much, okay, you have to, masks are fine and dressing up is fine, I'm not talking about that, that's fine. But Gilkei, the wildness, and you see like a lack of modesty sometimes, of people losing it, thinking that, one day a year we can be like a goy, that's not what Purim is all about. It's not Purim. So it's completely the opposite of that. Yeah. Bye. Okay.
sources.
What?